Welcome back to Thai Movie Recap, the show where we take you deep, not just into the story, but into the soul of the story. Tonight's episode isn't just about ghosts, it's about performance, about how acting can become possession. This is The Victim, a 2006 Thai horror film directed by Monthon Arayangkoon. It's inspired by real-life murders, but twisted into something darker and disturbingly real. The actress of the dead, Ting, a young, bright, ambitious drama student. She's talented, charming, and dreams of becoming a star. But acting isn't just about fame for Ting. It's her escape, her way of feeling alive in a world that often ignores her. One day, she's invited to join an unusual government program. The police need someone to act as crime victims in murder reenactments, to help the press and the courts visualize what happened. It's dangerous, it's strange, but it's steady work. And Ting, eager to prove herself, says yes. Her first case is a domestic murder. A jealous husband, a dead wife, blood still fresh on the floorboards. Ting studies the photos. The police describe the crime. And then she becomes the victim, lying in the same spot where the body was found, recreating every wound, every scream, every final breath. Her performance is stunning, too real. So real that even the police watching seem unsettled. One detective whispers, "It's like she knows what it feels like." From that day on, Ting becomes the go-to reenactment actress. She plays the victims in dozens of cases, each one more violent, more tragic, more haunting. But the line between acting and being starts to blur. After a few months, strange things start to happen. When Ting closes her eyes, she sees flashes of the crimes, details no one ever told her. A bloody fingernail under the couch, a reflection in the mirror, a sound of someone crying right behind her. She tells herself it's just imagination, just stress. But then one night, after reenacting the case of a murdered model named Meen, Ting wakes up screaming, covered in bruises she didn't have before. She looks in the mirror, and for a moment, she doesn't see herself. She sees Meen. The same long hair, the same pale face, the same eyes, full of fear. Ting starts to believe that the spirits of the victims she portrays are entering her, that they don't just want to be remembered, they want justice. She goes back to the film studio one evening, hoping to shake it off, maybe rehearse. But the set is empty, cold, lit only by flickering fluorescent lights. And there, sitting in the chair where Meen once posed for her last photo, is someone else. "You took my face." Ting spins around. No one's there. But the air feels wrong, like the room itself is breathing. Ting becomes obsessed with Meen's case. She studies the files, the photos, the suspects, and the deeper she goes, the more she realizes something terrible. Meen's case was never solved. The official story says she was killed by her boyfriend, a jealous man caught red-handed. But the details don't fit. The timeline is wrong, the evidence missing. Ting starts investigating herself. She visits Meen's old apartment, talks to her friends, her manager, her family. And everywhere she goes, she feels Meen's presence following. Sometimes, she even becomes her. Ting/Meen. They said I was beautiful. They said I had everything. But beauty is just another way to die. At this point, the film changes tone. We realize we're not just watching Ting act. We're watching someone watching her act. Because suddenly, the movie breaks the fourth wall. We pull back to see cameras, directors, lights. And a voice says, "Cut. Great take, Ting." Wait, what? Now the audience is told, everything we've seen was a film inside the film. Ting is an actress, playing a character named Ting in a movie about murder reenactments. Confused? So is she. But the real horror begins now. After filming ends, Ting starts seeing the same ghosts, not as part of the movie, but in her real life. Doors slam by themselves. A shadow follows her home. Her reflection moves when she doesn't. Mirror crack, faint female laughter. She can't tell anymore. Is this the curse of her role? Or is she trapped in someone else's story? As the walls of her sanity crumble, Ting visits the set one last time, determined to confront the truth. She discovers an old camera left running, with unseen footage. She presses play. On screen, she sees herself, asleep on set, while a woman's shadow moves behind her, stroking her hair. Then the shadow looks straight into the camera, and whispers, "I'm not gone." The tape ends. Ting screams, but when she turns around, the same woman is standing there, the murdered model, Meen. The film ends with reporters covering a new murder case, a beautiful actress found dead in her apartment, named Ting. The police call it suicide, But in the reflection of the crime scene mirror, we see another face smiling faintly, Meen. And that's when we realize the cycle continues. The victim becomes the ghost becomes the actress, and the performance never ends. Final monologue, host. What makes the victim so terrifying isn't the jump scares. It's the idea that horror can be performed until it becomes real. The film plays with reality and fiction like a Mobius strip, looping endlessly. We're never sure when acting stops or when possession begins. And maybe that's the point, that grief, obsession, and guilt don't need ghosts to haunt us. We create them ourselves. Host. Thank you for joining us for this haunting deep dive into The Victim, 2006. If you enjoyed this episode, subscribe to Thai Movie Recap for more stories where fear meets philosophy and cinema meets the supernatural. Remember, not every actor survives the role they play. Late one night, the director returns to the old soundstage, the one where Ting filmed her last scene. Wind blowing through open doors. He walks through the set, touching the props covered in dust, the walls still stained with fake blood. He whispers, "I'm sorry." Then, from the shadows, a whisper answers, "Action." Then silence. The next morning, the crew finds the director's body, his face frozen mid-scream, a camera still recording beside him. When they replay the tape, the lens shows nothing but darkness. And yet, deep in the background, two women's voices can be heard, Ting and Meen, laughing. Soft, chilling laughter that fades into echo. Epilogue. The face that stayed. They say every film captures a piece of the soul, a moment frozen in light and time. But sometimes, it captures too much. The Victim wasn't just a movie. It was an invitation, a doorway between life and death, acting and being. And Ting crossed it. Now, whenever the film is screened, viewers report the same thing. In the reflection of the screen, there's always someone sitting in the last row. A woman with long hair, smiling faintly. When the lights come on, she's gone, but the seat is still warm. Final monologue, host. Slow, haunting voice. Maybe ghosts don't come from the dead. Maybe they come from what we leave unfinished. Our guilt, our desire to be remembered. Ting wanted to become someone unforgettable, and she did, but the price was herself. When we pretend to be the dead for too long, eventually, they start pretending to be us. This was The Victim, 2006. A haunting reflection on performance, trauma, and identity. A story that asks, what happens when your own reflection no longer belongs to you? Thank you for listening to Thai Movie Recap. If you like this episode, remember to follow, share, and tell us what movie to uncover next. Because behind every Thai film, there's a ghost waiting to be heard. And sometimes, the show never ends. Thank you for listening to Thai Movie Review and Spoil. This was a heavy one, a story that leaves you with a lot to think about. What are your thoughts on the film? Which scene has stayed with you all these years? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. That's all the time we have for today. Until next time, goodbye.